Yes, today we are going to be looking at another lesson in Moodle. This is how to create an assignment. Your presenter is PL Biswalo. Our outline. We are going to add an activity or resource. We will select an assignment and then we'll add assignment which is a setup. We have to set up our assignment, as you can see here. Then we'll save the assignment in readiness for the students to start working on. Okay. Yes, so to get started on your course page, the first thing you need to do is to click here in order to be able to turn editing on. So you can see that editing on must be turned on before you proceed. This is our turn editing on. Normally, after you turn your editing on, you're going to see all these edits. The menu has changed slightly. You can see you have these markers here, and then on every item that you have, you'll have a edit which allows you to continue editing. So in this lesson, what I've done is to create a topic here, which we will call practice 1. You can always create new topics. For example, this says topic 9. If you click here, you can write your own topic on your own course. So as usual, the first thing we need to do is to click add an activity so that we are able to look for the assignment icon. So you can see that on this page we have a number of tasks or activities, and our main interest is this assignment task. So you click here and you'll get some information that this assignment task is explaining. You can read that at your own time, and then when you are done, you must click add. After adding the assignment, it will be ready now to continue, and you can see here that we need to put an assignment name. It's very important, otherwise the task will not be completed. So let's say we're going to call this assignment introduction, and in this window here, this is where you're going to write the information or the question, the task that you want your learners to do. So maybe we can say write a 2-page report on what you have learned so far in the course. You could give them, let's say, 10 marks. Depending on the task itself that you want them to do. And here you click display description on the page. This is what you want them to be able to. When they go to the page, they'll see that this information is displayed. So under the introduction, they'll see the questions. If you don't want them to see them, then you unclick here when they click introduction, it will take them straight to the correct page. Yes, here we do have additional files. It is possible that you may want the students to see a certain document or a file, so you can drag and drop them here, or you can click here where it says add, so that it takes you to a place in your computer where you can choose the file, and then you click on it. Let's say I'm going to choose this one as an example, and then that file will show here, and then I'll click upload this file. It takes some few seconds. If it's a large file, sometimes it takes longer to download. So once you see it here, you know that the file has already been uploaded. If you think you put the wrong file, you can click on it and then you can delete the file. I'm sure you're familiar with these submissions when you allow them, and the due dates. So if you enable here, then you put the when they start submitting. You can even put the time and also the due date. Moodle always, depending on the date that you do the task, normally it gives you a week. So make sure you put your dates correctly. Cutoff date, if you want the students not to be able to submit the assignment after the cutoff date, you can also enable this and put the date. You can be reminded when to mark. Let's say, for example, you have a large class as well, and you have other people who are marking. You can also they'll also get the information when they're supposed to grade. This part is looking at submission types. So if it's an online text, students will type directly into the box provided when they check on the assignment. But they can also type it ahead of time, and then they do a copy and paste. So you can select here. If it's a file submission, you can also select here so that they type the work, then they submit a file. So some students may get confused because they are not too sure. When they go here, they want to submit a file, they find that if it's an online text, they cannot submit a file. And if it's an online text, or if it's a file submission, they want to type, they find that they cannot type. So you have to tell them, the type of submissions that you require. Feedback types, these are feedback comments are given, and also this is important, annotate PDF. If it's a file submission, you can ask students to change their Word document into a PDF file. When you're marking, you should be able to see that file on the screen. Otherwise, if it's a Word document, you have to download it and mark and read it, and then go and mark or grade the work. Offline grading worksheet. This means that you can actually mark some of the work offline. If you select this, it is possible for you to save the file in an Excel file and then mark it. You can use this question mark to know more about it, and here is a question mark also for feedback files. Comment in line, normally I leave it as a no, but if you want to know more about it, there's a question here, question mark. Submission settings, you require students to click the submit button. Yes, otherwise when they click send, it will just go without asking them should they submit or not. This one is also important. this requires them to agree that the work is their own. It's a statement. So this helps with plagiarism and all that, so that when they are caught cheating, then they say they accepted that it was their work. Attempts reopened, I normally do it manually. Make sure you don't put unlimited, maybe 2 times. This is important, especially when students have made a mistake. Maybe they submitted one question but not another one. You can give them another chance. Or someone who didn't do well, you can give them another chance. If submitting in groups, then you can click here to check whether they submit in groups. Notifications, this basically notifies students and markers and yourself when work has been submitted. If many times, if it's a large class, maybe it's to not to notify yourself. Otherwise, every time a student submits, you'll get a message on your email. This is a plagiarism plugin. It's still not working at the moment, but otherwise is to check whether students are plagiarizing. The grade, we leave it at a point scale, but you can use this. You can use a scale of your own, but you must have put the scale in the system. Like here I had put a 20% scale. Otherwise, if you use a point, it's 100 or whichever amount you want to put. Simple direct grading is fine. Grade to pass, you can look at a question mark here. Blind marking, if you want to mark blindly without seeing who's submitting. Hide grade identity from students, it's up to you. Use marking or workflow. You can check here again for more information. Common module settings, normally you must show it on the course page, but if you want, you can hide it until when the students are ready to see the assignment. ID number, for now we don't use it. Group mode, if there are no groups. Restricts access, you can restrict access here. Let's say you don't want everyone to do the assignment, only a few, so you can click here for more information. Here you can save and display, but otherwise also you can save and return to the course. So you can see that our assignment has already been set up here, and this is the question students are going to see. And if you click here on introduction, it should take you to the page, and when students start working, then it will show how many. And so this is basically, you can view their submissions and grade the work. Okay, so that is it for this lesson, and we'll see you again in another lesson. Thank you very much.